Hello, I'm Soldier Boy. The world knows who I am, why do I have to say it? But the cool thing to do is just say no. God, I sound like a jack. Who approved this script?
Stan Edgar.
Get him on the phone, I'm not saying this shit.
Happy 420, where today the smoke starts clearing. As always, make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X, and follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. For once, I need to talk about my Instagram. What? I know, right? This is why y'all need to follow me on Instagram. There's a lot of shit going on over there. Let me go ahead and start off with my video that blew up on Instagram. And it's funny because it didn't blow up on TikTok. So basically what happened was that I was watching Raw, and all of a sudden, like, Triple H comes out to announce the new tag titles. We're going to get into more in depth of that later on when we get into the wrestling category. But as he was coming out, we got a QR code that just popped out of nowhere. And it popped out so suddenly. So if you have your phone right then and there, yeah, sure, go ahead and scan it while you can. Other people that are watching live is like, what just happened, you know? And luckily me, I went ahead and went on X, the only time that I actually do go on there. And I saw somebody with the handle OneTrueMav who actually posted a picture of the QR code. And then after that, I went ahead and did my own little digging onto what the QR code was leading towards. And when I did, it takes you to a link, and on there you see the image scattered around in multiple layers, and when you combined it, it takes you to a whole different link. Of course, I explain all of this in my video, but if you haven't done so, go check it out. But I'm gonna go ahead and explain it to y'all in case if you don't have Instagram. So once you go to the new link, it takes you to an image, which again, I posted it on there. And underneath it, there's a video. And it's teasing what it looks like is Uncle Howdy. So that video blew up as of right now on Instagram. It has 38.4 thousand views. However, it only came out with 1,163 likes. I mean, the only good thing out of it, of course, everybody was loving it, that I decided to attach all the Easter eggs that showed up on there. But I also got a ton of followers. I was like, sweet Jesus, so hello, if you're listening because of the video. So shout out to the new followers. The next thing I wanted to talk about that also happened on my Instagram is Alex the Terrible pinning one of my comments. Okay, so long story short, I decided to go to lunch, okay? And that was like the first thing that showed up on my feed. I don't know why, but it always happens. And usually when Alex posts something, it's like literally in a span of either he just posted it or maybe like 5-10 minutes ago. And I'm like, why? I don't know. But anywho, the video basically talks about him addressing a comment that he got from another video where he's fighting a bear. And on that comment, the guy said, it's all fun and games till the bear decides it's not a game anymore. So Alex probably had the need to explain himself like, hey, it's not just any type of bear, it's a trained bear, you know, think of it like a dog. And so he started comparing like a dog's training to the bear's training. And if you guys haven't seen like the music video Baba Yaga by Slaughter to Prevail, you see him, you know, fighting with the bear, but in reality, like, they're just play fighting. And, you know, Alex does make a explanation about how in Russia they do have this trained bear, you know, harmless and everything. He just wants to have fun, this and that. But anywho, he's talking about it in the video, and as soon as he's talking about it, already my brain is generating the comment that I needed to post. I didn't even realize the span of when he posted the video, because I'm over there typing, quote, to all Americans listening, go try to pet a chihuahua before questioning a bear. And when I posted it, I couldn't help but to notice there were no comments on there. And I was like, don't tell me I'm the first person to post a comment. And I checked, and it says that Alex posted the video like not even 30-40 seconds ago. And I'm like, oh shit, he's gonna see this. And I was freaking out. And all of a sudden, bing, Alex Terrible Official, like your comment. And also, bing, Alex Terrible Official pinned your comment. And I'm like, pinned? And I checked and I see it and I'm over there freaking out, right? But I was like, oh shit, everybody's gonna see it. So yeah, like what it means is like once it's pinned, that's the first thing people are gonna see when they go to the comment section. And after that, I'm getting the likes, I'm getting, responses from it. One in particular was somebody by the handle Frederick Bergman 91. Shout out if he's listening. He's over there saying that my comment wins. And I responded, quote, I know because I have one. I'm talking about Toshi. And I also said, and I have a pit bull like Guts, except he's more fat than muscle. My chihuahua is so feisty with everyone, and my pit bull is the sweetest. Next thing I know, being Alex Terrible Official, like your comment. And I'm like, that's my second comment. And I was like, Alex, just follow me. Like, we could be really great friends, just so you know. I literally have so much in common with this guy, like, it's not even funny. And I'm like, bro, like, come on, man, you'd be surprised. But yeah, I was freaking out because I thought it could have, gone upside down. But over the fact that, I honestly can tell by experience, like a little tiny chihuahua is basically the devil for everybody here in America. So I have a right to say that, I know from experience. However, the truth be said is that Toshi is only feisty with strangers that do not live in this house. And my thing about my pit bull is, yeah, even though he's the sweetest, the moment he sees Toshi bark, oh, it's hauling ass after that. And I appreciate it because then we have this big, husky, pit bull who's ready to attack. And I know people are like, oh no, that's like not supposed to be the way for pit bulls. They're the sweetest, this, and that. I'm like, yeah, they're the sweetest when they know you. When you have that special bond with them, they're going to be the sweetest towards you. But if you're a stranger that poses a threat, oh yeah, hands on deck. And I'm in there too. So there's that. Unfortunately, the moment of my glory ended the next 24 hours because I guess Alex has that tendency to archive some of his videos, so it makes it seem like his main page only consists of less than 50 posts. And so with that being said, I'm like, okay, moment's over. However, I took screenshots. That's the thing about me. I like to take screenshots to back up my evidence. You guys are probably like a red flag, and I'm like, you can red flag me all you want, but sometimes I need evidence to prove shit happened because otherwise people be questioning things. Now, of course, if you saw my podcast announcement, you got to see the screenshot where it says Alex Terrible pinned my comment and all of that. So yeah, it was a good moment. So I'm like, those are the things that I will keep safe and, have that moment to just appreciate that happened. But now it's like, okay, it's him posting other things. And I love it whenever he posts Guts because then I'm like, oh, I gotta go see my boy that's outside. Of course, I barely talk about my other two dogs because, Cosmo is the spoiled one right now. But she's the baby. And my other two dogs, they are older, but they are busy protecting the house. So there's that. But anywho, that was my little moment that I wanted to brag about. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get this episode started. We might have a lot to cover, but I'm not going to say that much because I'm like, I barely see like 3 things on the movie category, 3 things on television. So this episode might be shorter than I thought. But anywho, if you guys saw my podcast announcement, I did mention Keanu Reeves. So we have confirmation that Keanu Reeves will be voicing Shadow for Sonic 3. This is probably the most breathtaking news I heard so far. I know Keanu can do this. He can nail it. I mean, have you guys heard him as Duke Kaboom in Toy Story? He's really good at it. So I can't wait. Even though that Shadow has more of a serious tone, I can't wait to hear that with Keanu. I am still low-key sad that it wasn't Hayden Christensen that was offered the role, even though I talked about it in a previous episode. But still, Keanu was a really good choice for Shadow. Now, on the next one, a fan complained on social media about their concerns of Shang-Chi 2, since there hasn't been any updates. With that being said, Simu Lee actually responded with, quote, I promise it's happening. If anything, I feel like this movie may not come out until after 2026. I did read the comments and a lot of fans were just not having it, but I'm like, bro, it was a really good movie if you ask me. Left me on a cliffhanger too, so I can't wait. For sure I'll watch it, but at the same time, with the comments in mind, I don't have high expectations now. In other news, another biopic movie is in the works, and Leonardo DiCaprio is now adding this in his resume. Variety reported that he will be portraying Frank Sinatra with director Martin Scorsese. Apparently, this has been planned a while ago and now they want to make it official. I guess you can say Hollywood is now running out of ideas and is sticking with biopics at this point. And yeah, those were the only 3 things I had for you guys in the movies category. So let's go ahead and talk about television. Starting with, his name is John Cena. Beep, beep, beep. So John Cena and James Gunn posted a picture of them on the set of Peacemaker. The picture shows Peacemaker's helmet, and on the back, obviously, you see the reflection of James Gunn taking the picture. I guess it's their way of saying, okay, Peacemaker is now in production. I do highly recommend for you guys to watch season 1. It's hilarious. It's available on Max if you guys are interested. For those that are fans of The Witcher, I have sad news for y'all. The Witcher is ending with season 5 being its last. This will be the second season we will see Liam Hemsworth replacing Henry Cavill. I also found out Henry Cavill is going to be a dad. I mean, sad news for us fans, but congratulations. It is good news for him. Season 4 is already in productions. However, fans of the show are saying that The Witcher ended when Henry left the show. So maybe season 4 and 5 are not going to do so well when it releases. Personally, I haven't seen The Witcher even though we finally have free Netflix. I'm too busy watching this show called You. That's what it's called, and it's intriguing. I'm barely on, episode 8, I think? But yeah, so by the time I finish that one, or if I'm bored of it, kind of like what I did with The Crown, then maybe eventually I'll go watch The Witcher. I know I rambled about Fallout, but I am happy to announce that season 2 is confirmed and I am so excited. Supposedly, Jonathan Nolan says that Aaron Paul, Jesse Pinkman from Breaking Bad, might be interested in being a part of the series. It's a possibility, who knows, but I cannot wait if that happens. You know who would have loved to experience this though, now that I think about it? Matthew Perry. He was a huge fan of the game, and remember I mentioned before, he played Benny in the Fallout New Vegas game. And then now that I'm thinking about it, season 2 better give me Deathclaws and super mutants, please and thank you. The more I think about it, the more I get excited again, because it's building up to the storyline of New Vegas, even though timeline wise it didn't make sense if you're referring it to the game. However, Todd Howard and Jonathan Nolan confirmed that it already happened. Like, whatever happened in Fallout New Vegas already happened. So we're continuing the story from then on. I do have more Fallout things to talk about, but we're going to talk about it in the gaming category. So with that being said, let's talk about music now. So there's a video surfacing with Mike Shinoda singing Bleed It Out with a girl singing Chester's lines. This is leading to rumors spreading that the girl, whose name is Bonnie Fraser, will be the next lead singer for Linkin Park. Some fans are for it, but then there are some that are against it. Some people are saying that Chester would probably want the band to continue without him, and then others are saying no because Chester made a legacy out of it. Me personally, all I'm saying is Nirvana. What do you mean? Please elaborate. I'm saying or suggesting for them to start a new band. Same members minus Chester. You honor Chester and the band continues to perform under a different name. Hell, if anything, call it a tribute band, no? Because eventually, I'm sure they will release new music while performing some of the Linkin Park songs. And there's a bunch of tribute bands out there that are performing, like music for other artists. The reason why I say Nirvana, like, look what happened with Kurt Cobain. And I still cannot believe it's been, 30 years? I'm like, sweet Jesus. The man passed away before I was even born. God damn it. But anywho, what happened was the band decided to part ways. They didn't even want to touch anything Nirvana. But we see Dave Grohl create Foo Fighters. He does a few songs here and there for Nirvana, but that's it. They moved on, make their own thing. Linkin Park, however, yeah, they're going to be performing, I'm assuming, some of the old Linkin Park songs. But there's gonna be those fans that are not agreeing with a new lead singer singing over Chester's voice, you know? And I know I mentioned this in previous episodes where I feel like, you know, Linkin Park just going on hiatus indefinitely to honor Chester is probably one of the most respectful things they have done. I don't know. At the end of the day, it's just rumors. People are going to be talking, but this is something that everybody should be on the lookout for. Now, no criticism over the fact that, you know, the woman or Bonnie is singing really good and everything. Yeah, sure, she has a promising career ahead of her. But at the same time, I'm like, her going to be a part of Linkin Park is something that doesn't sit well with me or, you know, most of the fans. But anywho, let's go ahead and move it along. Ice Nine Kills announces their Kiss of Death Tour Part 2, where there will be headlining with In This Moment, Avatar, and TX2. Now, if you do plan to see them, make sure to check out what artist is performing on the location, because it looks like some venues have Ice Nine Kills only, and then there's one where like it's In This Moment, Avatar, and TX2. So make sure to check it out if you are planning to attend. Remember when I talked about Harley Davidson collaborating with Jim Root from Slipknot? Well, a video got released with a teaser motorcycle. They are calling it Jim Root X the Motor Witch Custom Build, which it will be surfacing in 2 weeks. That's why I was laughing earlier when I said that word. And since we're already in the topic of Jim and potentially leading to Slipknot, might as well let's talk about it. So somebody posted on Reddit a billboard from Slipknot hinting a new website. So the billboard is all black with white letters saying, quote, "One night only" on the left side, and then the center is Slipknot. And on the right side it says, quote, "Long may you die." What is this, royalty? But anywho, underneath it all, there's a website that says, quote, "youcan'tkillme.com." And I actually went to the website, so let's talk about it. So when you go on the website, the first thing you see is obviously the old Slipknot logo, and underneath it there's these letters that are sliding that says, "Pay attention, ... The answers are all around you." And depending on the image that you get, it just varies afterwards. But you get like the old images from the very first Slipknot self-titled album. And this is where I kind of give you guys a glimpse of Slipknot 101, I guess you would say. So back then when I was in the beginning stages of becoming a Slipknot fan, I actually got to manage to visit one of their websites. I didn't grow up with internet, keep that in mind. But in school, I had computer lab, and that's when I would be doing my little digging on the website. And this was leading from volume 3 leading on to All Hope Is Gone. And the website will be just like images, like nothing new. Like you just have to like click your way around the website. And that's basically what it's giving me over here. So I'm like, let me move my cruiser around and see if there's some hidden clicks here and there just in case. But no, that wasn't the case. On the image itself, it takes you to a direct link of what it looks like potential lyrics. So this is what it says. "The seed is listening, planted in the seed of fifth degradation, distortion of truth, exploitation of visions, pungent olfactory irritation, megalomaniacal misfits, and outspoken righteousness. This seed represents the becoming, the anti-abomination, the awareness, the full frontal unleashing that can't fucking take it anymore." Sounds so familiar. It's clicking. Give it a second. And then afterwards it says, "Right to lifers, taking lives of the name of God." Bullshit. Politicians smiling through lying backstabbing teeth. Drivel. Holier than thou's pushing tunnel visions on uncorrupted minds. Had enough. False prophets spelled PROFITS in leagues with the real deadly sins. Cover-ups, manipulation, strong arming, intimidation, deviation, secondhand smoke screens, and the retardation of the big fucking picture. What the fuck? Teachers of our young being paid like convenience store clerks. Intolerable. The seed is fierce. The seed listens. It hears defenseless children cry out of a 9-to-5. Callous knuckles beat them because of one piece of cereal fell on an already dilapidated floor. It hears the anguish that the father feels at the snapping of his sons and daughters because his outlook is so fucking bleak. He lashes out at his family. It hears the prayers of teenagers who have no guidance and no encouragement, no psychological tether because the system doesn't give one big gapping, bleeding, herpes-infested rat ass about these poor half-full cups until they reach military ages. Oil and blood for the wheel, which is your government. No fucking more, in big bold red letters, by the way. Those who defy will fall. Those who deny will see the light or see stars. Those who try to destroy will be destroyed themselves. Those who will demean will be degraded naked through the streets and beaten. Those who try to dictate will be dealt with, and those who will degrade will be made of the example of. The monstrosity that is the sad shadow self of society cannot be allowed to ferment and stagnate any longer. It's safe to say divine intervention is about a tooth fairy / Santa Claus away from happening. And those who sit on their fat asses waiting for that to happen are sloth, non-vertebrate, quivering, ignorant parts of the problem in the first place. And in typewriter font, it says, the seed is listening, the seed is seething, the seed is waiting, and the seed is going to rip out the jugular and bleed the bloated, disenchanted establishment. Feed the seed. Ooh. This literally sounds like a song I heard of before from Slipknot, obviously from the self-titled album, but I can't put my finger on it. It sounds like a demo if you ask me. But yeah, this is literally giving, beginning stages of Slipknot, which is something we haven't heard of in such a long time, because if you think about it, most of the lyrics does consist of hatred and all of that, which, you know, obviously I started listening to Slipknot at the wrong time because now their music is much more different. The lyrics are more like motivation, inspiration, all of that. But at the same time, a lot of people are hating it because it's like, oh, it's not the same. Well, yeah, because most of their songs back in the day was so full of hate, you know? And obviously at that time I was full of hate. And, you know, I got my fuck the world attitude, which I mentioned before on my social media. But that's basically the link that will take you if you click on the pictures. And the more you keep going back and forth with the home screen and the lyrics, that picture actually changes. So on one particular, you see another version of what we see of the self-titled Slipknot album. The other pictures I got was also like the band members in blue jumpsuits. But yeah, it just keeps changing, and then sometimes it will stay the same. Like, you'll get the pictures that you already seen. So when you go back to the home screen, I also get like the old Slipknot logo that they have in spinning mode, and I'm like, this is giving me back in the day visual effects, honestly. And this is where most millennials will hate me. Why? Because if you keep scrolling down, in the home screen, it says, quote, if you don't have Netscape 4.0 Plus or Internet Explorer 4.0 Plus, get it now. You're probably missing most of the cool stuff on this website. And if you keep going down, it says, if you find any broken links or bugs on this website, do not email me. I do not care. Thank you. And when I mean by, you know, millennials are going to hate me, I do not know what Netscape is. I mean, Internet Explorer is now, you know, gone. Now it's what, Microsoft Bing at this point. But Netscape, I literally had to look it up, and it was like AOL, I think. But yeah, I was like, what in the world? So it looks like this website was probably made back in the 90s, probably. And then in the edges, like right below where the Slipknot logo that's spinning around in like a gray haze, whatever, you also see another picture that looks like, I don't know, it's giving me like monkey vibes, but it says always under construction. And the way this font looks is also giving me, you know, 90s beginning stages of Slipknot. And I'm like, what the hell is going on? Obviously, if you keep going at the very bottom of the homepage, you see that this page was last updated on April 25th, 2024. And I'm like, hold up. It's April 21st. I'm recording this episode on a Sunday, of course, for those that do not know. April 25th is this coming Thursday. And is there something I'm supposed to be expecting that day, now I'm gonna be like on the loop just in case. And of course, underneath it all, in very small letters, copyright 1997-2023, even though we're in 2024. Slipknot, all rights reserves, yada yada yada. So I'm like, what in the Easter egg? And I know right now for, I keep mentioning Swifties. Taylor Swift released her new album, and beforehand, for some reason, on my Works For You page, because I guess my bosses, they're like Swifties and everything, I will get videos of Taylor Swift, and people are like saying, Easter eggs, this and that, this video means this. Like, for example, one of them was like, oh my god, there's 2 typewriters. Does that mean we're gonna get 2 albums? This and that. I'm like, oh my god. So I'm over here the same way with Slipknot. I'm like, what the fuck is going on April 25th? The fact that it says it was updated in advance, let me find out. I guess I'm gonna have to come back to maybe to the website and see what it is. But anywho, underneath it all, there is a home screen button. There is a bio button, guest book, lyrics, music, and show. If you actually have your speakers up, on whenever you click on the website, there's music playing in the background, but it's like clips of the songs on repeat. Like, one of them is Spit It Out, the other one is Sick, the other one is Surfacing, so it goes back and forth. But obviously the only time it does change when you click on the show, and it's like a little creepy voice, this and that. But it shows you like the upcoming dates that they're going to be performing, including the Europe tour. Like, when you click on bio, though, it does kind of go back to legitness, because it gives you a bio. It looks like I read it before. And on the second paragraph, it says meet 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. And it says in parentheses, in human terms, that's DJ Sid Wilson, drummer Joey Jordison, bassist Paul Gray, percussionist Chris Finn, guitarist James Root, sampler Craig Jones, percussionist Sean Crane, guitarist Mick Thompson, and vocalist Corey Taylor, respectfully. And I'm like, I find it interesting that I'm seeing Chris Finn's name again. It makes sense why we see Joey and Paul, because, they're the OGs of Slipknot. But with Chris Finn, if you guys do not follow that whole drama that they had, to a point that even Chris had to take Slipknot into court for, money that he was owed. Ever since then, we barely hear Chris Finn. I still follow him, by the way, on social media. He sometimes comes and goes, but at the end of the day, I find it a shocker that I see it on this website that might potentially become more active on Thursday. For the bio, you see a bunch of quotes from Sean, mostly. But you also see one from Joey Jordison on here. But yeah, give the bio a read so that way you're more familiar with Slipknot's background. Now, the next tab that they have is the guest book, and when you click on it, it literally says guest book, like, something that you will scribble out on a pencil or on a pen. And it says, thanks for checking our site. If you want to add to our guest book, you should have been here 25 years ago. And I'm reading it and I'm like, well, 25 years ago, I was 4. Literally. But yeah, like, there's some things in here, and it's dated Friday, March 3rd, 2000. And some of it screams millennial. Like, the first comment, it says, they haste the best music. Oh, they have the best fucking music. It's so misspelled, but the way how it says music, like Music, it's wow. But yeah, there's a bunch of them on here, and I'm over here like, interesting. And the locations are also different. The first one was New ULM MN Hell, and then another one says On This Rock, Hawaii. Another one is Covina, California, United States of America. I'm like, oh my god, is there Easter eggs on here? Another one is Leeds, England, Birmingham, England again, and then lastly Roosevelt, Utah in the US. It's funny. But yeah, that's on the guest book. Again, I don't know if they're going to add more onto this guest book. Now, on the next tab is lyrics. And literally all the lyrics from the first album is on here. This, however, is Screaming 10th Anniversary album. Why do I say this? Is because they actually split Eeyore and Me Inside at the very bottom of the song list. So it goes Sick, Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, Spit It Out, Tattered and Torn. Purity too wasn't on the original album. But Purity is on here. Liberate, Prosthetics, No Life, Diluted, Only One, Scissors, and then Eeyore and Me Inside. And the reason why I say it screams 10th anniversary is because I have a copy of the 10th anniversary Slipknot album. Now, on there, and I find it also ironic that it's not on this website, there is a song in between Tattered and Torn and Purity. Definitely go look it up on YouTube. I'm pretty sure it's still there. But the song is called Frail Limb Nursery. And that is probably one of the most disturbing songs I've heard. And it leads to Purity, obviously, as an intermission. But it's like a little scary story that you hear. And you hear it on the rest song. I always skip it. Every time Tattered and Torn will play and it's over, I will skip that song because it still, gives me chills every time I hear it. But yeah, it's not on here. And I'm like, interesting. But it is on the 10th anniversary. So, yeah. But no, the lyrics are on here. So if you want to make sure that you got the lyrics this whole time, definitely go check it out. Lastly, and I only say lastly because I already talked about shows, but the other tab is music. And again, millennials are going to slap me already. The reason why I say this is because the music that they have available is Eyeless, Wait and Bleed, Surfacing, Spit It Out, and Me Inside. And underneath it, it says, like, for example, Eyeless is 28.8 kilobyte modems. And I say it because I don't know what the fuck is a modem. I'm sorry, guys. But when you click on it, it looks like you can actually download the songs. And I'm over here like, so is this royalty-free music? Because I would love to be playing it in the background on my podcast, just saying. But yeah, if you guys want to have a free download, it's there. I mean, I'm like part of it. I'm tempted to download it, but at the same time, I'm like, I listen to the album on Spotify. I have the albums just in case technology goes down. But yeah, the website is out there. And again, if it does end up updating like on the 25th, I'm definitely going to be talking about it on the next episode for sure. So now that ends the music category, let's go ahead and move it along with gaming. Breaking news, guys. I started playing Fallout 4 again. Hooray! But then again, I am not the only one. I'm not alone on this. Everyone is posting their gameplay, story explanations, and everything about Fallout on social media. Literally, my TikTok For You page is filled with everything Fallout. And it gave me more motivation to actually, clean my Xbox. That shit was dusty as hell. I am not shitting you. Even the games were collecting dust. I am so sorry, guys. Oh, that's how y'all know it was bad. And don't even get me started with the PlayStation. Poor PlayStation is still chilling over there like, hell, what about me? I'm like, one day. But I mean, thank God for the series, because now you guys probably understand why I love the series and the game series so much. Honestly, at this point, I'm about to pull out my Fallout Funko Pops and hang it on my shelf. There's like the space that's empty on one of my shelves, and I'm like, I have space, but I don't know what to put on there. I'm gonna have to bring them back. Yeah, they were sitting on a storage box, and yeah, they're ready to come out, and I'm gladly to pull those out. And I'm still glad that I still have my Fallout merch. I still have like a replica of a Pip-Boy where you can actually put your phone in there, and you have to download the Fallout 4 app so that way you can interact with it in the game. I still have that. My big poster that says welcome home with Vault Boys, thumbs up measuring the mushroom cloud is still hanging on my wall to this day. Yeah, I never took it down, so there's that. But still, I'm really happy that we got more Fallout fans at this point. Welcome. But yeah, I started playing Fallout, and honestly, I can say that my ADHD is still not letting me complete any of these missions. That was the main reason why I played, just so I can escape. Like yesterday, I had so much free time that I was just exploring and killing enemies, and I'm like, forget the missions, I'm over here just to kill at this point. But yeah, I had so much fun, and I'm like, that's why I'm recording the podcast now, so that way I can go back to gaming, because I really miss it. And yeah, Fallout, it's actually the only game right now that I can play without me having to renew my Xbox membership. But eventually, I'll renew it if I get bored, and maybe potentially, if I want to play Fallout 76 But yeah, I'm glad that I'm back. Speaking of Fallout 4, they're actually getting a next gen update after I don't know how long since its release. It's like GTA all over again. Even Xbox released customizable Fallout controllers, which I kind of want to get my hands on, but they're so expensive. But yeah, no, definitely go check it out on their official website if you want to custom make your own controller. Now, with that being said, that wraps up gaming. So let's go ahead and talk about wrestling. Starting off with WWE releases 5 talents. The most notorious one is Jinder Mahal. He actually posted on X that he quits. The Maharaja is out. The other wrestlers also consisted of Xia Li, Veer Mahan, Sagna, and Zion Quinn. Of course, right now, everybody is wondering why people of color got let go, because of course we know that Jinder, Veer, and Sangha were Indian, and then Xia is actually the first and only Chinese female woman that was on the roster. Zion Quinn, I think he has Australian background, but with other things I cannot remember. But yeah, it's sad and unfortunate if you think about it, but at the same time, like, I know for sure Xia Li was trying to make a storyline, but it just didn't click at the same time. And people are saying that, oh, now that Triple H is head of creative, supposedly when they let them go, it was different than what Vince would let go of the talent. I don't know. But yeah, we'll see what will happen with these wrestlers. Already people are pointing out that maybe Jinder might go to AEW. Who knows? In other news, there are wrestling pregnancy announcement. If you missed AEW Rampage, Ruby Soho announced that she is pregnant with Angelo Parker. Because of all the hate AEW is receiving, everybody in the comments is actually questioning the pregnancy and thinking that this is some kind of storyline move. And I'm like, really, guys? But yeah, congratulations to Ruby Soho, though. And congratulations to Liv Morgan and Sarah Logan, or Van Holler, however you guys want to call her, because they're going to be aunties. Well, I'm sure Paige is somewhere in the background, too, having her celebration, but everybody's happy for Ruby. And of course, I was shocked to hear that she got pregnant. I was like, oh my god. But we'll see how her wrestling journey will go after she, has her babies. The other announcement is from Logan Paul. It is a wholesome moment to see that Logan is excited but also nervous that he's going to be a father. However, a lot of people are actually questioning that if his baby is even his, because apparently his fiance has a history that, again, I don't even know, but like they're saying, is he even the father? And I'm like, damn, so much hate. Honestly, though, I'm really excited for Logan because I've seen his social media. He really, truly, genuinely loves his fiance. So that's something to be excited about. So congratulations to both him and Ruby Soho. Now, if you guys missed WWE Raw, we literally had some rumors going around. And I even got the feeling that I had to look her up on Google because something was going on. And the first thing I see was Rhea Ripley suffered an injury. And I'm like, oh no. But it was leading towards her having to vacate her World Women's Championship. Honestly, I'm sad because Judgment Day was going to dominate. Like the Terrorizer Twins, what her and Damian Priest call each other, had gold. So I was excited for it. But you know what? It is what it is. Supposedly her injury happened possibly before WrestleMania. So she was injured while she was going up against Becky Lynch, and then leading up to a segment between Rhea and Liv Morgan where Liv attacked Rhea. But I feel like it was like an angle because, of course, not a lot of people are fans of Mid Morgan. But with the storyline that was leading off to, I think Rhea helped Liv more because now everybody's hating on her. Like, she's getting that energy that she's been craving for so long, except now Liv is giving more like, she's a bad girl and she's going through her quote revenge era. And I'm like, I guess. But, with Rhea being out, if you think about it, there are a lot of good wrestlers right now in WWE that are MIA. I'm talking Seth, Becky, Gunther, Roman, and now Rhea. Like, sweet Jesus. Speaking of Seth Rollins, Becky Lynch actually revealed on an interview that Seth had knee injury on Tuesday. Apparently, Seth is now being named Mr. WrestleMania since he wrestled both of those nights in Mania with having to endure a messed up knee. And there was a clip I saw on social media where apparently when Roman speared Seth, we didn't see it on camera, but on the video that a fan recorded, his knee bends a different way that a lot of people can't bend it, and it looked very gnarly. And it actually explains why, he couldn't get up whenever everybody was celebrating Cody's win. Major props to him because he pulled through. He wanted to make sure he gave it all before he takes that long break. And again, it is a very deserving break. But it sucks, with them being out and, everybody else having to carry the shows. I mean, it's in good hands, if you ask me. Like, you want me to talk about somebody else who I happened to not talk about last episode? How did I forget not to talk about Tama Tonga? I talked about this guy before, like, in the beginning stages when I started the podcast. He actually made his WWE debut on SmackDown last Friday. Not this past one, but the week before. As soon as I saw him, the first thing that went in my head is, where is Finn Balor and AJ Styles? Why do I say this? Because Tama Tonga was the OG member of the Bullet Club since Finn, AJ Styles, Kenny Omega, and even Jay White. All of a sudden, boom, he's in WWE, and now he joins the Bloodline. Jimmy Uso is now going to be the one that's been taken out, and he's going to be taking time off instead of Jey Uso. So I'm over here like, what the hell? And apparently all of this was orders from Roman Reigns. Is this a sign of the new storyline with Solo Sikoa and Tama Tonga carrying the bloodline while Roman is out? Who knows? And then supposedly other people were hating because Tama Tonga doesn't have any blood relevance to the Samoan dynasty. I don't know, but at the same time, he does have a good resume on his back. I mean, come on, New Japan. Seriously. And if you think about it, Solo and Tama, like, together can be very, very brutal for, whatever roster they end up with, because the draft is coming up. Right now for SmackDown, it's looking very, very tense. Cody, definitely needs to watch out. And now that I'm on the topic about the draft, literally right beforehand, before all of this is going to happen, Triple H finally decided to update the tag team titles after so many complaints and expectations from me. Papa H delivered. He came out on Raw Monday revealing the World Tag Team Championships. And they have the same matching design for both the World Heavyweight and the Women's World Championship. It's okay, if you ask me. And then the WWE Championships look so familiar than the old Eagle Tag Team Championships. The one with the blue colors on the back. And people were saying like, oh, maybe it needs color. But it makes sense why they kept it just gold, like no colors in the back. Because again, they are probably thinking about switching the titles without having to switch the color. Kind of like with the Universal Championship where originally it was red. And then when it went to SmackDown, they made it blue. And I'm like, oh God, we don't want that. No, I like how it is right now. They look very cool. Above all, I feel like the side plates was a much even more necessary need, because I don't think they had that in the previous tag team titles. They just give it to them and that's it. But now with the side plates, it's like more designs. I love it. Say what you will. I love the titles. Thank you, Papa H, for delivering one more time, like always. Now, the last thing I want to talk about is that video that blew up on my Instagram where I talk about Uncle Howdy. Now, I didn't make a video on Friday, if some of y'all expected, because it was too much right there. And plus, I was cleaning the cages so I can have a very peaceful weekend like I am right now. So the first video was during Raw, whenever the New Day was coming down the ramps, making their entrance, and all of a sudden the screen glitches, and I was like freaking out because I'm like, when was the last time we've seen these little messages going around WWE? Of course, it was whenever Bray Wyatt was still around, trying to, hint the Fiend. And when I saw that, I was like, it's finally really happening. And of course, I talked about this on my Talking Simply Wrestling episode. If not, definitely go check it out. Where potentially we would be getting Taylor Rotunda coming back and probably coming as Uncle Howdy. So when I saw the barcode, of course, you only get to see it for like maybe 1 or 2 seconds completed. So you have to act quick when you see it. Luckily, there's some people that have DVR and actually can rewind, take a screenshot, post it on social media. Thank you, Want Your Math, by the way, because I talked about this on the video that I posted on social media. He posted the QR code for me to scan, and on there, of course, if you haven't seen the video, go check it out, but I'm talking about it here in case if you don't have social media, so I gotta be fair for y'all. And on that link that the QR sends you to has images of broken down letters, and when you combine all those images, it takes you to a separate link, and that separate link takes you to an image of what it looks like a crow and the symbol that you saw on the original QR code. And underneath that image is a video, and on the video, sends another message. And when you hear it again, you see that symbol, you see the crow, and on the video that I talked about on my social media, obviously I almost started crying, is that it's Uncle Howdy. So everybody on the comments were saying about, hey, maybe it is Uncle Howdy, but it probably looks like they might lead up to having the Wyatt 6 faction coming up, which I really love and appreciate all of these people commenting on my video. Shout out to everybody, by the way. And it makes so much sense because I'm like, well, potentially speaking, it will be one Uncle Howdy, and then Eric Rowan, Braun Strowman, potentially Alexa Bliss, making her comeback. And then the other fifth member, they were saying it could be Matt Hardy. Now, I say it could because I also found out that he just decided to debut on TNA. So I don't know if that's a possibility. Who knows? But that will be the fifth member, and I couldn't help but to realize, wait a second, who could be the sixth? And then it started hitting me just a little bit. And I just realized, what if the sixth member, if this was true, could be John Huber's son, Brody, And I'm like, that would make so much sense, Bring in, what used to be Luke Harper's legacy into the Wyatt faction, and his legacy is his son. He has already made his appearances in WrestleMania, obviously, as a fan, but we also seen him on AEW, so I don't think he might have a contract if you think about it. Plus, I haven't seen much of him on AEW, so this could be a potential faction. Now, other people are also saying, oh, but maybe Alexa probably retired because she just had her kid. Why don't they just replace Alexa Bliss with Nikki Cross? And I'm like, hey, that's also a good idea. That would also make sense. But still, they got to start off with Uncle Howdy first and see where that will lead off to. Me personally, I am thinking SummerSlam debut. Why? Because that's when Bray Wyatt debuted The Fiend during SummerSlam when he went up against Finn Balor. So who knows? Now, SmackDown had their Easter eggs, and this was whenever Triple H was making his way to, unveil the new tag titles. Again, it happened all of a sudden. I was too busy cleaning guinea pig cages, so yeah, I didn't get to do it. But I did get to see other people doing it. And it's basically like this image of a black figure. And when you zoom into it, it takes you to another link. And that link takes you, if I remember correctly, I think it was a picture. Again, it was different, and then underneath had the video. Now the video, when you watch it, you're like, wait a second, this is different message. But then all of a sudden, if you look closely and you pay attention, you see coordinates. Now, when you follow the coordinates, it takes you to this cave in Grahovo, Slovenia, if I'm pronouncing it right. The cave is called Krinzda Jama, if I'm pronouncing that one too right. But if you do it on Google Maps, you can actually interact with it and go inside the cave itself. Now, me personally, I do not understand the Easter egg for it. The only thing I can come up with is that on the documentary of, becoming Bray Wyatt, his brother Taylor talked about how they were doing like a pilot series, and in there they were actually exploring caves. And I'm like, is this something that I should know about? I don't know, but I thought it was cool, and I don't know when the next QR code is going to show up, whether if it's on Raw or SmackDown. Now, another thing I also noticed during SmackDown, all of a sudden, I think there was a match going. I don't remember exactly which one. But all of a sudden, like, everybody that was in attendance, like the fans, all of a sudden started, like, lighting up their phones. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, why is everybody lighting up their phones all of a sudden? What did I miss? Like, is there something showing up above, like, the main screen that's in the center of the arena? Or, like, did the entrance screen started glitching out? I don't know what it was, but people were lighting up their phones, like, kind of like what they did with Bray Wyatt. And I'm just like, what's going on? What's going on? But overall, I'm just excited over the fact that Uncle Howdy is going to be coming back. But at the same time, I'm like, I don't know, like, how could this angle be? If it is the Wyatt faction, it will make so much sense. But again, with the whole thing with Matt Hardy, I'm still trying to, wrap my head around seeing, like, okay, did he sign? Or is he just making an appearance? I don't know. However, I do believe that, Triple H is cooking something. And I'm ready for it, especially over the fact that, this could potentially lead to either tag team or individual matches, whatever it is. As long as it's still keeping Bray Wyatt or, Wyndham Rotunda's memory alive, I am for it. I'm still wondering if we're ever going to get The Fiend, like, his character probably making an appearance. Who knows? But yeah, with that being said, I guess that wraps up this week's episode. I hope you guys did enjoy it. I know I did, like always. Make sure to follow my social media accounts at It's Lielers on Instagram, Threads, and X. And follow me on TikTok at Lielers. Lielers on TikTok. And if you guys haven't noticed, I finally updated the description on every episode. So the links are there. If you want to follow the link for the Instagram, Threads, X, TikTok, including my link tree, check out the description. It is there. It is updated. It took me like maybe 2 hours to update, almost 90 episodes. I'm actually thinking about maybe removing my old episodes because, yeah, that's outdated information. But at the same time, when I read the description, I'm like, dang, I forgot how much I talked about this. And then another episode, it's like coming alive. That's basically what I've been doing throughout this whole show. But I don't know. Still debating on it. I probably put a Q&A on there. Should I delete my old episodes? Believe the first episode. The first one, I do my little introduction. But I am kind of shy on it. It's because it was the beginning stages of the show. But at the same time, we need that introduction. Of course, you could tell, like, I slowly started building my confidence to a point that we're finally doing, hey, new episode announcements, like, live on actual video on social media. We're growing. We're slowly growing. I'm also thinking about updating my podcast logo. Can you believe it? And especially, like, on YouTube, because I know we upload the episodes on YouTube, and I'm thinking about doing, like, an animation as you watch it. But I'm pretty sure some of you guys, like, just turn off your phones and then listen through it, so who knows. But yeah, lots of changes going, so we'll see how that will go. I rambled off for so long. I'm ready to upload this episode. Thank God you made it this far. On the next one, of course, we're gonna keep updating you on what's going on pop culture, especially wrestling, because so far we're getting our momentum to going to Backlash and Clash at the Castle. I am ready. I'm still waiting for the next WrestleMania announcement. Supposedly it was gonna be in Vegas, but there's something going on there. But anywho, I'll go ahead and let you guys go on with y'all's day. And as always, I'll talk to you guys on the next one.